U.S. President Donald Trump abruptly ordered the airspace closed above and around Venezuela on Saturday, dramatically intensifying tensions between the United States and Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. The White House accuses Maduro of collaborating with narco-terrorist organizations to facilitate large-scale drug trafficking into the United States, and Trump's declaration signals a direct and uncompromising response. Early Saturday morning, Trump posted on Truth Social, "To all airlines, pilots, drug dealers, and human traffickers, please consider the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela to be closed in its entirety." This sweeping order went far beyond previous warnings and made it clear that the U.S. views Venezuelan skies as a serious security threat. The Federal Aviation Administration had already issued a notice urging airlines and pilots to avoid Venezuelan airspace, citing a worsening security situation, increased military activity, and potential GPS interference as risks to flights. In a tit-for-tat response, Venezuela revoked operating rights for 6 major international airlines that had suspended flights following the FAA warning. Trump's decision to close the airspace in its entirety surpasses the FAA's precautionary measures, signaling a shift from viewing Venezuelan airspace as merely risky to treating it as actively hostile. Over the past several months, Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio have orchestrated an aggressive pressure campaign aimed at ousting Maduro. This strategy has been anchored by a substantial buildup of American military forces in the Caribbean, accompanied by lethal strikes on vessels the White House alleges were engaged in drug trafficking. While the administration frames these actions as protective measures against threats to the United States, the attacks have sparked international controversy. Critics, including Democrats and some Republicans, argue that Trump may be consolidating executive power excessively and potentially violating international law. The United Nations Commissioner for Human Rights condemned the strikes last month, calling them unacceptable and reinforcing concerns that these operations could contravene global legal norms. Earlier this week, Trump indicated that the crackdown on drug trafficking would expand beyond maritime routes to include land-based enforcement. Speaking at the White House, he said, "People aren't wanting to be delivering by sea, and we'll be starting to stop them by land also. The land is easier, but that's going to start very soon. We warn them, stop sending poison to our country." This statement underlines a zero-tolerance approach, emphasizing that the U.S. is prepared to act decisively to prevent the flow of narcotics into the country. It also serves as a warning to traffickers and to the Maduro regime that American forces are poised to target all possible avenues of illicit activity. As U.S. forces continue to deploy across the Caribbean, the international community is closely monitoring developments. Airlines, pilots, and foreign governments must now navigate a volatile environment in which Venezuelan airspace is no longer just a flight path, but a high-stakes geopolitical flashpoint. The closure of the skies represents more than a tactical maneuver. It is a dramatic assertion of American power and a stark warning to Maduro that the United States is willing to escalate its actions to protect its borders and assert its interests in the Western Hemisphere. The coming weeks are likely to reveal how far the Trump administration is willing to push its campaign against drug trafficking and the Maduro regime.